Salutations, family, and welcome back to the Electric Leaf, where it is my goal to assist you with nourishing your mind, your body, and your chakras. So, tonight I wanted to come to you all with a message that was coming to me pretty heavy, which was get off of the treadmill. Get off of the treadmill. That's really the energy that's coming through. I see the intention card with the liberation card. When I was asking about the energy of the collective at this time, this is the energy that comes out. And I interpret this energy in so many different ways. It looks like, connecting with your higher self. It also looks like mind control, but over yourself. Mind control over self, mind control over what you have going on in your situation, and actually bringing to life the things that you want. And it comes through that inner knowing and that inner peace where you're saying to yourself that I already know what I need to do. And because I know what I need to do, I think about what I need to do. And I stay in that vibration. And I actually bring these things to form. So let's just get right into the energies of the collective. I always break down my collective into masculine and feminine energies. And, one interesting thing about masculine and feminine energy is that it exists within us all. And when we reach that space of unconditional love, then it's because unconditional love was found within self. That unconditional love that is found within self, it takes place with the masculine and feminine energy being in balance within self. Okay? When this energy is balanced, you will find yourself to be highly attractive. Highly attractive, okay? And you have to be able to discern what situations are coming to you because you need to be the light worker. You need to be love. And what situations are coming to you to help you ascend and to actually be that reflection of love and be that reflection of gratitude that you are in turn reflecting out into the world. Able to discern your own reflection, able to understand who you are, so that when situations come around that are for you, the light worker, to actually heal and play your role, play your part as a light worker. When those situations come around, you'll be able to identify them and have compassion in the spaces where compassion is absolutely needed and necessary. Those situations where someone is sent to you because you need to reflect God to them, outside of the situation. And as a light worker, what situations do you need to completely just shake the dust from under your feet, wash your hands, wash your face, get new shoes, get new numbers, get all new everything, new mindset, and just really turn away from that without rejecting yourself, without rejecting your sister or your brother, but with the rejection of an energy. So the only way you can reject an energy at all is to completely be unmoved by it, ignore it, so to speak. We can't always ignore things, though, can we? Like pain. Pain is an energy that when it is present is a gift because it is letting you know that it is absolutely time for change. If you watch my last reading, there were fives all over the spread, all over the spread. And, you know, the energy of change is that energy that can be the most resisted by all of us, not just light workers, but by all of us. So, by all means, the light worker, who is the one who basically carries the torch, needs to be the one that says, oh, okay, you know, let me shine my light. Let me tap into that Jesus force, right? A lot of us are familiar with it. Come on now. You know what that means when I say it. You know that that means, and I just saw 555 on the screen. You know that that means that you have to stand in your truth and march. You don't have time to stand by and tell someone what they're not doing and point fingers and identify this and that. You don't have time for that. You only have time to follow through in your mission. And as you do that, okay, your vibration will be felt by the nations. You will cause a ripple effect and you will make a difference just from manifesting through your own vibration. So when pain comes, right? When pain comes, it is an indicator that something is not right. It will not let you ignore it. It will not let you ignore it. So when the pain emerges, that is the time for you to say, what needs to be changed? What has happened? What offense has occurred? What role have I played in this? And what is the next step? What is the next step? You know, there are levels to how we deal with adversity. You don't just start with a riot. You don't just start with anger and retaliation, right? We see that now. So once you've reached into a space of violence, then you know that there is something major that has happened. There's an offense that has gone on for too long and it's been overlooked. You know? That is what happens in all of us when we feel ignored, when we feel as if we have done all we can do. We've been as kind as we can be. We've given love. But yet we still have to eat shit. Excuse my language, but that's the vibration, that's the energy that I'm picking up on of so many people are really just like confused. Like, I know that I'm a light worker and I know I have work to do, and I understand that there are so many things that I can contribute to that are of high vibration, and I do these things. So since I do these things, I feel that I should not have to deal with these situations that feel so karmic. They feel so karmic, and you know, it's not fair. And so then we get on that little hamster wheel of the ego. We get on that little hamster wheel of the ego. Oh, what a wheel that is. The ego, right? But we also have to play devil's advocate for the ego, because the ego is not all bad. The ego is our protector. The ego puts its foot down in times where we're selling ourselves short. The ego is what steps in and says, I want self to be safe. I want self to live. I want self to survive at any cost. And so when we begin to make peace with our ego and who our ego is and what our ego is and how our ego is defining us, Then we're able to reach in to the inner child and allow ourselves to feel safe. And that safe feeling is what actually calms the ego, because the ego does not need to die. Because the ego is there just in case we ever have to go past the space of trying to reconcile with words, speaking our truth, calling out injustices. On a personal level, it starts on a personal level. The ego doesn't need to die. The ego just needs to be calmed. The ego becomes inflamed, if you will, over time through all the toxins of the world. That's interactions with other people, the food we eat, the air we breathe, the times that we spend with people who mean us no good, the times that we spend doubting ourselves, the times that we had to fight, the times that we went unheard. The ego gets a little bit inflamed. The ego becomes more prominent, and then we're being misunderstood. What energies are affecting the divine masculine collective? And please know that just because you are male, that does not make you a divine masculine. Okay, please stop with the I don't even know what to call it. Just like, I'll tell you this, every man, if you've ever sang with a choir, I used to love singing with a choir back in the day. Just because you're a man, that doesn't make you a tenor. Okay. It doesn't even make you a baritone off of automatic, Just like most women, just because you are a woman, it doesn't make you an automatic soprano or an alto. Okay? When you are living in your truth, some of you men, a lot of you men who are watching me right now, you are definitely probably carrying the majority of the feminine energy, because the feminine wakes up first. The feminine energy wakes up first. So if you are seeking information about yourself, how you fit in the divine, what is your mission exactly, and if you're thinking about, why do I feel so alone? None of my other male friends are like me. None of my other male friends really think the way that I think. I try to put them on something. It's no love lost, but it's just different. And maybe you're seeking information about a divine partnership where you can clearly see a specific counterpart. You can see them clearly. You can see their divinity, but they're not walking in it. And so you may be questioning, what am I doing? Why am I attracting this? But that goes back to the message where I was talking about stages. These different stages and phases. If you are the one who woke up first, it can be a really, really lonely road to hoe. Okay? So let's pull the cards. What is the energy of the divine masculine collective? I want to do divine masculine. I really do. That's what's in my heart. What is the energy of the divine masculine collective at this time, Divine Mother and Father? The energy of the divine masculine collective. energy. Wow, this is really good for the Divine Masculine Collective. Wow. The Divine Masculine Collective is really wanting to talk, and I see the Destiny card at the bottom of the deck, which the Destiny card was the shared energy between the Divine Masculine and Feminine energies in the last reading I did on my other channel. So, Divine Mother and Father, what is the energy for the Divine Feminine? And as always, I pray for you all that you all receive secret synchronicities as you watch this reading, and that you feel intentionally connected to the divine at this time. Intentionally connected to the divine. Listening with your heart for your own messages, for your personalized messages. Okay? So it is. Ooh. The Divine Feminine, the energy of the Divine Feminine Collective is a little bit different. So the Divine Masculines are really thinking about wanting to speak their truth and how they feel. Because we've got the throat chakra paired with the love card, and 4 cards all came out at once. We have the Just Breathe card and also giving and receiving. So, it looks like they are just absolutely tired of imbalance giving and receiving. And that imbalance of taking more than I receive. You know, they are coming to this understanding of what it means to be in balance in the heart. In the heart. They're learning to just breathe. They're learning to, that breath. One of my homegirls, Supreme Niche, she said that when you breathe, it's a respiration, of course, right? But that is you re-spiriting yourself. Respirations mean that we are re-spiriting ourselves. And that is the energy that is coming through super strong right now with the Divine Masculine Collective, that they are truly re-spiriting themselves and coming into this heart space where they're able to speak their truth from their heart. But I do sense that they are a little bit of afraid to speak their truth at times, because they don't feel calibrated with the world. So they feel that their truth may be judged, that their truth may be, that it may be judged. And I feel that they are really, really afraid of that, being judged, that space of judgment. And I also feel that that is why a lot of Divine Masculines are just absolutely refusing to wake up, because they don't want to feel it all. You know, they don't want to feel everything, and they know that they will, because they're so spiritually powerful. And a lot of these Divine Masculines who are still sleeping or choosing to play possum, as I like to say, a lot of these Divine Masculines are empaths. Extreme empaths. They're not really narcissists like we would like to say they are. No, they are terrified of being rejected in their truth, in their space of truth. The Divine Feminine, there is a little bit of sadness, but the Divine Feminine Collective is really looking like they are really trying to stay focused on what is important to them. Really trying to discern what is important to them. You know? This energy here is very similar to me of this energy in this deck, which comes out for the Divine Masculine. But this finding balance comes out for the Divine Feminine. And what I'm thinking really, really strong, the idea that keeps coming to my mind is, it's like what I keep seeing is someone holding their heart like this, and in armor, like a knight, like a knight's armor, but it's a feminine energy that's inside this armor. And she's standing there, really protecting her heart space with all she has. But what I'm seeing here at the bottom of the deck is the star card, which is heal. It's always talking about healing. So the divine is saying that is really not a battle that you need to focus on, protecting your heart to that magnitude, because it's actually causing the divine feminines to really miss out on the opportunity of actually receiving some of their own love back, their own love. They're missing out on their own love coming back to them because of this armor, this hardness, this thing that has come over them in order to keep themselves from being hurt. But I'm seeing that it's good to be in that cocoon type energy, because when you are on that hibernation, it's super fast restoration of your neurons, your nerves. So I'm feeling you needing to rest more. The divine feminine is really needing to, it feels like a heaviness, an energetic heaviness that the divine feminine really needs to let down, because the judgment that is coming through of why, that the armor is there because of this judgment, this judging type energy, where you feel almost superior, that nobody knows how to treat your heart, when in all actuality, it's important for you to know how much you are capable of giving before you actually give it, so that you don't come out of balance to begin with, so that you don't feel the need to put up a mighty fortress around your heart, when really you're the only one that can dictate how much of yourself you're willing to give out. It's really, really your choice. So let's look at the shared energy space between the divine masculine and the divine feminine collective. Now, as I read, you have to understand that we are all masculine and we are all feminine, and we all have to find a balance within ourselves of the masculine and feminine energy. If we are open to experiencing a divine partnership in the third dimension on the physical earth plane, then we must first have our own union within self. And that is why those cards came out, the liberation, and where is it? The liberation, I had it right here. I think I've lost it. Yes, I did. Okay. The liberation and the intention card. Okay. These cards come out like this because it's reminding us that we have to establish this connection to our higher selves. That's something that we all have to do. We all have to establish this knowingness, this intuition with our higher selves. And that's how we attract in a divine partner that is really right for us. We also have to remember that imprinting on a specific person just because you know that you are a twin flame is absolutely not fair. If someone doesn't want to walk that journey with you, then by all means, liberate them. Liberate them from what you are manifesting, and liberate them with intention. Not meanness, not anger, not hate, but with that knowing that what is for you, and you will always have it, because nothing can keep you from it but that self attired armor. Okay? So what is the shared energy space of the divine masculine? Let's ask it like that, like this. What is balanced within the divine masculine and the divine feminine at this time? Look at this. Judgment card. Judging self, looking at self, knowing self. Okay? Extending the ability to be able to shine to your best abilities, your best capabilities. You know, so that is really dope. That's really dope. That's really good. I mean, this is the balance. The balance, if the balance is judgment, you see how on this card, in this deck, judgment is blossom. That means that the balance space, the space that is right, the space that is calibrating us all in the heart space right now is the energy of being able to see ourselves clearly with intention, with self-love, with forgiveness and acceptance. Oh, at the bottom of the deck, the Magician. Ooh, this is what's good. This is what's right. This is what it is right now. This is what we have. This is our tool. This is our silent assassin, in the words of my cousin. This is good. This is what we have to work with. This is what we've been given to work with. So on Chopped, if we were on Chopped right now, this would be a really dope basket, right? Where you just know you can fulfill the judge's best taste, whatever culinary taste they've ever had. I don't know. But this is good. This is good. Ooh. When I picked up the other card, when I picked up the Magician card, I did see this Moon card under here. You know, you see this adult person facing their younger shadow self. You know, and we just talked about that energy of don't kill the ego. The ego doesn't need to die. The ego just needs to be aware. The ego needs to know that he's safe. Because have you ever seen like Martin when he's Roscoe? Like he's that little snotty nosed kid where he's not about to bite his tongue just because you're an adult and he's a kid, you know? And the funny thing about Roscoe is that there is so much truth to Roscoe's character, because have you ever talked to some children? Like they will let you know how it is, not to be mean, but just because that's all they know. All they know is the truth and what they've seen and what they've been fed. So that's what they reflect back to you. And so sometimes I see little kids that they develop this armor. And this armor comes out in the form of misbehaving or behaviors or disobedience or just being bad. You know, some people just call them bad. But it happens as a form of self-love, right? It's a very toxic, controlling form of self-love. But that's what the vibration is calling for, because there is something that wasn't received by the younger child. It was either love from a father, love from a mother, or it was the type of support that they felt that they needed at a time when they were low. And they felt that there was somebody who they never questioned before in their lives that didn't come through for them like they should. And so now they question all other connections and they test them and push them to a point where they can say, yeah, this is what I've always known anyway. I'm not surprised. This is how people are. People are not loving. They're not forgiving. You know, the ego is coming out. And the ego is really the hurt child that is coming forward, that is saying, hey, you know, fuck you. 2 times no grease. But with the dreams coming true, and excuse my language, but this is really what I'm feeling, you know. It's anger, you know. It's a lot of anger that I'm feeling from this moon card. You know, a lot of anger, a lot of things being kept hidden, really hidden, like so hidden that yourself don't even know. You know, real trauma that has been buried deep in the soul, that it's this trauma that's been buried so deep in the soul, it's starting to mesh and blend, if you will, with everything. And so it's difficult to tell self from um, the healed self from the unhealed self. That's kind of how this entanglement is that I'm seeing. And the movie A Thousand Words comes to mind. It's on Netflix now, and it reminds me so much of this energy here. Like, just finally, at you know, I don't want to ruin the movie if you haven't seen it. I mean, it's 1,000 years old. I mean, come on. But I mean, when you finally come to that space of realizing that it's you. It's you, not you to blame, but you to love, you to forgive, you to acknowledge, you to listen to. You know, out of everyone that you acknowledge and listen to and bend over backwards for and give to, it's like your inner child is standing back there like, how dare you give that away? You haven't even given it to me. Like, are you serious right now? And that is conflicted energy, but it's being healed. It's being healed because that's what we're seeing here. You know, this is what we have. We have this balance. We're able to see this. And this child is actually being acknowledged, actually being faced and loved, and not no longer feared. No longer feared. Acknowledged. Loved. Because, I mean, that's a scary thing when it's something there that you don't really know who it is, but you see its shadow. You know, it's scary. And so that's why a lot of people don't do it. But it's being done now. It's being done now because, look, we've got dreams coming true and new vitality. So, for those in sacred partnerships or who are being awakened through the energy of sacred partnerships, let's see what energies are affecting you in a 3D connection at this time. You and a 3D connection. Okay. So I want you to think of a number 1 through 4 as I pull a number 1 through 4. And I'm going to pull 4 little pals or cards, how many ever spirit allows to come out. And then that'll be your personal little individual. And then we'll pull advice for each of the 4 decks and of the 4 pals. And we'll be out. Okay. All right, so pile 1, the energies that are affecting your spiritual connection are children, honeymoon, and healing family issues. So we're going to go back to the inner child Your spiritual partner could possibly be having this whole awakening and realization of self at this time. Actually learning how to love self, because with the honeymoon, and we're talking about the moon card, right? We just got finished talking about the moon card. I really have this feeling that that your person is really highly in this vibration that we're talking about, where they're facing themselves and actually going deep and healing all of those things that have been affecting all their connections and the quality of their lives. And it's not easy work, but we'll pull a card to see how they're doing with it. For the energy, for those of you who chose pile 2, I am seeing chemistry and keep an open mind. So I'm seeing that you might be thinking your partner will never change. They will never change. They will always be on some humbum. They will never get it together. You've tried it. Separation is best for you because being away from this person is the best for you. But what I'm seeing is, do not manifest. Do not curse your partner, because that is what it is. Do not curse your spiritual partner, because through cursing your spiritual partner, you are indeed cursing self. And there is a type of stirring of the pot of energies, of frequencies and vibrations that takes place when you do that. So when you do think of your partner or your spiritual reflection, right? Your spiritual reflection that's being reflected you in the third D. You need to remember to think highly of them. Only think highly of them, and this will come more naturally as you learn to think more highly of self. And that doesn't mean that you have to forgive to the point where you betray yourself again, okay? But what you're going to do is forgive in a space where you're forgiving yourself, so that you can let the energies do what they're going to do without holding on to that, wild frequency, because that's what it is. Keep an open mind. For those of you who chose pile 3, we have express your love and free yourself. And in vogue, free your mind comes to it's playing loud in my mind. So free your mind and the rest will follow. Be colorblind, don't be so shallow. It's like learning that the way that you call in love is through being true to your own self. Coming out of a fixed idea, a fixed frame of mind that, things are always going to be a certain way. You have the ability to do whatever it is that you want. This says make the romantic gesture. Be smart about this, because I ain't telling you to call nobody or text nobody or email nobody or none of that. Go by nobody's house. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is to make a romantic gesture. When you make a romantic gesture to the universe, they feel it. It's a romantic gesture is you stopping to smell the roses, or you stopping to admire a dandelion, or you stopping to take a deep breath next to a pine tree, or just going outside and putting your feet bare on the ground and just feeling the feeling of gratitude. And the more you do that, the more moments or reasons to be grateful will begin to trickle to you. So keep that in mind. Free yourself from feeling that you can only experience love under one circumstance. For those of you that chose pile 4, you had the most cards. And it's so evident and clear that there's a separation here. As we have new love, romantic feelings, separation, and worth waiting for. So this new love is coming from that inner self space where you recognize what true love is because you're actually living it for self now. You're actually giving love to yourself. All the love that you feel like was rejected or was never received, you're actually receiving that through your own loving hands, your own loving energy, your own self-nurturing, you know. And those and that newness is what's ushering in this romance, like this magical, purely magical romantic energy from the universe. Now, the separation card is so beautiful in this spread because the separation card is saying like it's the energy of taking something or taking someone and removing it from a certain environment. What I'm seeing is like I'm actually seeing dough, like like yeast dough or something, and it's just being like cleaved and put in two separate little bowls. That's what I'm seeing, you know. And I feel that the reason that this separation is taking place is so that you can do a little something jazzy to this dough, and then do a little something jazzy to that dough, and then weave these doughs back together and create something amazing, like greater than just a regular old loaf of bread, is what I'm saying. This separation is calling in an energy that it is worth the wait. It is worth the wait. Now, understand what you're waiting for, though. Because if you're waiting on a person, I can promise you, you're going to end up disappointed. And that's all I'm going to say. Let's pull the advice. What energy are y'all? I mean, Power 4, what energy are you waiting for? Ask yourself that for real, for real. So, what energy is assisting Power 1 at this time? Power 1, I feel like Power 1 is really doing some big things. I feel like Power 1 is coming into this higher level where you're really into your mission and you're more compassionate because you're actually facing, you're seeing the world through self. So Power 1, we have the arts. We have the arts with Sarasvati, never say her name right. Express yourself through creative activities. So I really feel like that's getting in touch with your inner child. You know, what did you used to like to do that you don't do anymore? That's going to really help with your ascension. Pile 2, what is the assisting energy for Pile 2? What is the assisting energy for Pile 2? Oh, look. Guardian. So remember how we were talking about this chemistry and keep an open mind? We were talking about how you don't want to curse your partner. You want to send love. This is the protection that you need, that you both need. So, yeah, just change up your vibe. And you're going to change up your vibe by going into nature, taking deep breaths. Maybe doing a handstand if you can do yoga. If you do yoga and you can do that pose, or doing a stretch where you are reaching for your toes and you're allowing your head to invert to help you get a new clear perspective, to let go of any animosity or resentment that you may be feeling towards a partner at this time. So what is the assisting energy for Pile 3, Divine Mother and Father? So for Pile 3, with the free yourself and express your love, we have the sacred space. You are a sacred space, you know, and You see how this unicorn is in that little tiny little fence where you can barely do anything in there? Like Spirit is saying, if you can just open up your perspective, make some room for all the things that I want to, equip you with. I want to give you all the upgrades if you will allow it. If you will allow yourself to to open up, acknowledge the fact that there is a whole world beyond that fence, beyond that one mindset. There's a whole world beyond it, and it is your whole sacred space. Your energy allows you to go anywhere and do anything as long as you're connected to the divine. What is the energy, the assisting energy for Power 4? Please, divine. Okay. So we have White Tara with sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. And this is going with the pile where there is a separation. So you're being separated like that because whatever is going on with this connection is toxic to you. It's toxic to you. And so you can't mix with that at this time because it's toxic to you. And it could be, this could very well be a twin flame, because when I looked at the screen, there was a 17 there, and I'm seeing the 7 here on the table just like flashing at me. So this could definitely be a twin flame. So this separation is meant to allow you to heal, and it's also so that you don't carry anybody else's karma, because that's not. How is that balanced? How's that balanced? Your partner needs to learn balance. They need to understand how their actions has an effect on others. And at the bottom of the deck, concerning the entire collective, we have expect a miracle. Expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. So, Pile 2, especially for you all, remember that each word you speak is a prayer. So make sure that what you are asking for is truly what you want, and that it's not coming from a space of anger, resentment, bitterness. Okay. All right. So I hope this reading has been of an assistance to you all. So until next time, continue to vibrate love, family, and vibrate well. Peace.